From the 30th chapter of the book of Isaiah, in the 18th verse, it's written, "So the Lord must wait for you to come to him, so he can show you his love and compassion. For the Lord is a faithful God. Blessed are those who wait for his help. O people of Zion, who live in Jerusalem, you will weep no more. He will be gracious if you ask for help. He will surely respond to the sound of your cries." Now, this passage from Isaiah is echoed by yesterday's reading in Matthew chapter 7, where within his Sermon on the Mount, Jesus states, "Ask, and it shall be given unto you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. Or what man is there of you whom if his son asks for bread will he give a stone? Or if he ask a fish, will he give a serpent? If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to them that ask?" As Dad mentioned, today's exhortation is inspired by the act of seeking help. It's a very common theme in my exhortations because, hey, wouldn't you know it? We, all of us, we need a lot of help. As I've probably stated many times, we, human beings, we are proud creatures. We do not admit weakness easily. We do not like to admit that ultimately we need help. But remember, seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's a step towards healing, growth, and deeper faith. So when in preparing and thinking about where and how we can seek help, 3 options came to mind. The first, seeking help of each other, or from each other. In Paul's letter to the Galatians, the 2nd verse of chapter 6 instructs us to bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. In our journey through life, we encounter challenges, burdens, and moments of weakness. But, as Paul writes, we are not meant to carry these loads alone. God's design for community encourages us to seek help from one another. With our families, both blood and spiritual, we can share our burdens with each other. When we reach out, we find strength in unity. Additionally, when someone stumbles, we have the opportunity to extend a hand to lift them up. Our acts of kindness and empathy echo the love of Christ, who extended the ultimate hand to lift us all up through his sacrifice. Now, option number 2, where we can seek help, is from certified professionals. Well, many or most of our problems or challenges can hopefully be solved via assistance from the community. There are other times when we need to seek the help and advice and guidance of a certified professional. For example, I'm not going to turn to my neighbor for assistance with a broken bone or troubles with anxiety. For those challenges, I'm going to call a doctor or a mental health therapist. On the topic of mental health for a moment, recently during our Recording Brothers announcements, I'm thankful that our brother Steve has added mental health alongside the long list of physical ailments that our brothers and sisters are experiencing. Mental health is a topic that our society is slowly embracing the importance of. As someone who has close relationships with individuals who struggle with their mental health, its importance to one's overall well-being is equal to or doubly important as one's physical health. If you struggle with your mental health, whether it be stress, anxiety, or depression, I implore you to seek the help of a certified professional. I am a witness to the power that talk therapy can have. Now, finally, option 3, seeking help from our Father in heaven. Of course, professional help is great. It can perform wonders, but it doesn't replace our reliance on God, his grace, and his guidance. God's grace, guidance, and love has never been on greater display than that of his Son Jesus' ministry on earth. This morning in Matthew 8, we read of 2 examples of individuals seeking help. First, we read of the leper who asked of Jesus, "Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean." The leper who knew that he could not find help in the community or of a certified medical professional of the day, the leper who knew that he needed help from someone of a higher calling. So he turned to Jesus, who, witnessing the man's faith, reaches forth, touches him, and the leprosy departs of him. Next, we read of the centurion and his request to heal his servant. Starting in verse 5, we read, "And when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him, saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Jesus saith unto him, I will come, and I will heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shalt come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this man, Go, and he goeth, and to another, Come, and he cometh, and to the servant, Do this, and he doeth." Now these few short verses are remarkable and quite noteworthy. We start by learning that the man who is approaching Jesus is a centurion. He is a Roman military officer. His servant is ill. With this man standing in the Roman army and the status of centurion, this is a man with power, with authority. As we're reading, as he states, he's a man who has men that report to him, servants who serve him, and he has the ability to direct each. When this man gives an order, it is followed. But also, as a centurion, this is a man who likely has resources, or at least access to resources. Presumably access to the medical caregivers of the day, who he likely sought help from for his servant. However, as the servant is still sick, the care and guidance of the certified professionals within the Roman army were unsuccessful in helping the servant. The centurion recognizes that he and his servant need help of a higher power. So he preaches Jesus on behalf of his paralyzed servant. Jesus, seeing the faith that the centurion has, the faith in Jesus' ability to heal his servant, responds positively. Yes, I will come and I will heal the servant. However, the centurion expresses deep humility, stating that I am not worthy to host the Son of God in my house. As we learn, the centurion is a man of authority with power to direct the soldiers and servants under him. And as the centurion has authority over men, he believes that Jesus has the same authority over sickness and healing. That Jesus can heal his servant by simply saying so. The centurion's remarkable faith and humility lead Jesus to marvel at his understanding of authority and trust. Jesus offered to come, likely to touch, just as he did the leper, and heal the servant. And the centurion responded, Only say the word, and my servant will be healed. This encounter serves as an exhortation for us to approach God with unwavering faith, believing in his transformative power. Now, recently in my own life, I was able to witness a combination of both seeking help from each other, seeking help of certified professionals, and of God. When my wife Samantha and I announced that we were expecting our child, one of our close friends confided in us that she and her husband had been trying to conceive for quite a while. But, unfortunately, to date, they had not been successful. Their desire to have a child and their inability to get pregnant had become a burden, and it was taking a toll on their mental health. Perhaps not to the level of burden expressed by Hannah that we read recently, but they were certainly frustrated, but they had been keeping it to themselves. But now, having close friends who were expecting a child, they felt it okay to discuss the troubles they were having, because perhaps we too had experienced such trouble. However, truth be told, Samantha and I were able to conceive quite easily, a very gracious gift from God. Not so for our friends. We offered many words of encouragement, as many as we could, but the more time passed, the less helpful those words became, and the larger the burden grew. Next, it was time to seek help from certified professionals. Fertility doctors assured them that there was nothing wrong. They were both able to have children, both able to be part of conceiving and having a child. Just sometimes these things take time. Track your cycles closely, they were told, and attempt to conceive at the proper times. Again, months and maybe years passed without success, and doctors finally recommended hormone and IVF treatment. The IVF process, however, is challenging, complicated, and not 100% successful. And unfortunately, the first go did not result in a positive take. At this point, my wife Samantha and I are now frustrated for our friends, as they desperately want to grow their family. While, yes, they are both great to our daughter, the pain of not being able to conceive their own was exacting a toll. During that next round of IVF, it dawned on me, perhaps a bit more than professional help was needed in this situation. So, the day following the IVF treatment, I gave our friend a slightly long, slightly awkward hug, during which I quietly said a prayer. I asked God for the treatment to be successful and for them to receive what it is they so desperately wanted. Now, our friend is certainly in tune with her body and knew what she was feeling. During that first round of treatment, she knew very quickly it wasn't successful. Alternatively, during that second round of treatment, she knew very quickly that she was, in fact, pregnant. So praise to the Father and the medical team for their efforts and their gifts, because this December, our close friends are expecting a baby boy. Remember, brothers and sisters, seeking help doesn't indicate weakness. It reflects wisdom and strength. Human beings are never going to be perfect. The best that we can do is keep asking for help and accepting it when we can. If we can keep doing that, then we will always be moving towards better. Yes, seeking help of each other is good. It strengthens our sense of community. Seeking help of certified professionals is great, as it can provide the mental and physical support that we need. But seeking help of our Father in heaven, that's the best. The power of talk therapy is well documented, and through our faith, trust, and love for God, we have the ultimate talk therapist just on the other end of the line. All we need to do is pray. Through the power of prayer, comfort and strength can be derived. Studies have shown that prayer has the potential to reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, improve overall mental health, and increase feelings of connectedness and purpose. It serves as a means of releasing emotional burdens and finding solace in times of distress. In a world where the weight of mental illness can often seem overwhelming, the power of prayer offers solace, strength, and hope. Compassionate prayers for the mentally ill can be a beacon of light, a plea for understanding, and an affirmation of compassion. These prayers remind us that we are not alone in our struggles and that divine intervention and guidance are available on the journey to recovery. Remember that seeking help from each other and from God is essential. Whether through prayer or seeking professional support, reaching out is a courageous step toward healing and hope. Seeking God's help is an affirmation of our dependence on Him. Trust in His love, grace, and compassion. And finally, now as we turn our attention to the emblems on the table, we are reminded of the greatest gift of help that God has ever provided us, the gift of His Son, who laid down His life for us. Jesus, through His sacrifice on the cross, provided us with the help that we need to combat our sinful nature. Well, yes, we are sinners. It is through His sacrifice that we have the opportunity to be forgiven of those sins. It is before, during, and after those sinful moments where we need to seek help for our weaknesses. Sin is our weakness, but through our faith in God and His Son Jesus, we have the opportunity to be forgiven and obtain everlasting life in the kingdom. Amen.